Hey everyone, there are loads of different ways to bulk create die cut stamped images, but I'm going to share with you today my favorite. I create a lot of bulk cards, and for me this is the way that works, that makes it really simple to line up all of the die cutting with the stamping, which is often the trickiest part. Now I'm using the Pure Innocence collection from My Favorite Things today, and there's a few that are going to show on screen, and the ones that I'm going to use in this video are part of an older collection. There are new ones that are available all the time, and I think there's a couple that are available on their site at the moment, but most of them seem to sell out quite quickly. I highly recommend with these types of collections that you do get the coordinating die, and you'll see in a moment why that is super useful. It did take me a little moment there to figure out how to fit all 5 of these onto my 6x6 piece of heavy cardstock, but I managed to do it with enough space around the edge that I think I can work around it with my dies and also my tape. So here I'm using my MFT hybrid ink pad. It was a little bit dry, so I did have to stamp it quite a few times, but then I did reload my ink pad and it's ready to go for next time. With these little images, they are absolutely perfect to colour in using pencils, Copics, watercolours, whatever your favourite medium is. For me, I often sit down and do some colouring with Copics, and in particular when I do this style of character, I will colour in all of the things that can be neutral tones. For example, I would do all the hair, all the skin tones, and then maybe if they had like pants or a denim skirt or jeans, I would colour them in the blue tones, and then I would leave maybe the shirt or the dress or something that adds a pop of colour, and then at the point where I finish off my card I can then just do that last little bit of colouring and then it's ready to use on my project. Now what I'm doing at this point, now that I've stamped out all of the stamps per the layout in my MISTI, is I'm very carefully attaching all of the dies to what is basically my stamping template. So when I do this, it means I run it through my die cut machine once, and then I can create an absolute ton of blanks. So use the dies just on all of my leftover cardstock, any scraps that I have of, traditionally I would try and use like a Nina Solar White or something that is very Copic friendly, but you can use whatever you have and whatever you're used to using with whatever your medium is for the colouring part. And you can see here, because I was very careful, they're actually lined up really well with the borders really nicely balanced. What that means is every time I load this template with a blank and then I leave those stamps on my MISTI door exactly where they are, I'm going to get a perfect image every time. So it does take a little bit to set this up, but once it's all set up, if you are going to do loads of stamping elements, you can do them in one go, and it's way quicker than stamping everything and then adding the dies to them one by one and running them through your machine. Now here I am reusing the repositionable tape off the dies, and I'm putting them on the back of my template so that when I put the blanks in, they're held in just a little bit and they don't pop off and I end up stamping things in the wrong place. So it just means that this base is going to be a little bit stable when I actually put the blanks in. Now, because I ran through and die cut a whole load of these, I ended up with I think 9 or 10 piles. I'm just sorting through and putting one of each of the little girl dies in each pile, and it just makes it so much quicker when I'm actually loading it into the template. All I need to do is pick up one pile of the 5, and it's just like jigsaw puzzle pieces. I just slot them into the template and then stamp and pull them out and move on to the next set. So this for me has been an absolute game changer. I love doing bulk dies this way, or bulk stamped images this way. I would encourage you to dig through your absolute favorite stamp sets and find all of the images that you've always wanted to use but you haven't, And then maybe have a bit of a crafting session where rather than creating full cards, you actually do something like this and create a whole ton of elements to then be coloured and then have them ready for creating the cards when you're up to that point. I feel like I have more supplies than I could possibly ever use, and there are quite a few stamp sets that when I purchased them, I was really inspired to use those on cards, but I just haven't yet picked them up and taken the time to sit down in a crafting session and use them. Approaching it this way for me really does help me work out what I've got in my stash, how I can get them ready, and I'm much more likely to create a variety of cards when I sit down because I've already got some of these things ready to go. I have put a link to another video that I think you might enjoy. Have a great day.